Good evening, everybody. If you can hear me loud and clear, just you can react, you can say something. Right, Sarah, I can see you. Zira, I can see you. Emmanuel, I can see you. Uzoma, I can see you. Thanks for joining in this evening. I don't know if you know anybody who is supposed to be here and is not here, you can just ring them up. This is our third class, and it's happens to be that this will be our second to the last class. We're wrapping up everything next week, and then we are wrapping up in a bang. Yeah, next week is going to be so exciting, just as it will be today, even more than how it's going to be today. Janet, okay. Sorry, I never knew I was muted. Janet, I can see you. Sorry, so sorry. Janet, Sarah, who else have I not mentioned here? Um, Christabel. So if you know anybody who is supposed to be on this call and is not here yet, please kindly ring them so that we can carry everybody along. Today is going to be so important. Today happens to be the second to the last class. We are wrapping up the class next week, Thursday. Yes, and we are going to wrap it up in a bang. There's a lot packaged for next week as well. So yes, if you know anybody who is supposed to be here and is not here yet, please help me to just ring the person up so that they can join, and so we can start when we have a good number. Esther, I can see you. Good evening. Okay, so I can see that most of you, I don't know what happened. Most of you could not attempt the assignment, the practical assignment. But however, I think somebody did, and then I promised to reward anybody the first three persons that attempted. So I'm going to keep to my promise. The person who even attempted the assignment is not here yet. I don't know why she's not here yet. Magdalene. Yes, so I promised to give a reward personally. So I'm going to send her data subscription, for attempting. So I want to encourage everybody here, this is introduction to tech class. And during the course of this class, we've been introduced to several aspects of tech. So the purpose of this class is to show you what's obtainable, and then whatever you find interesting, then you can maybe start a career path in that direction. So, and that's why most of the things we are doing is just introduction. Yeah, so it's just like, for instance, you want to buy a car, you go to the car stand, the car dealer asks you to like test the car, to have a feel of the car. So if you like the car, you pay for it and you start driving. If you don't like the car, you can look for another car. There are all cars there, right? So that's something we're trying to do here. Yeah, so we are trying to like allow you guys have a taste of several career paths in tech, and then you can now decide to go with what resonates with you the most. If you feel like, okay, you like design, you're a design person, you're a creative, yeah, you can go in that direction. If you feel like, oh, design is not for you, I'm a logical person, I like solving problems, then you can go deep into programming. If you feel like, okay, I just want to play around tech, I want to automate things, I want to just build stuff out of the box, you can go into automation. There are several career paths. If you feel like, okay, I'm good at analyzing data, I think I love working with data, you can go for data analysis. So that's the purpose of this particular program. We are just here to like expose you to what's obtainable, and then how you can go about it. So it's almost, yeah, okay, I think it's time for us to begin officially. Yeah, so welcome again, everybody. Welcome to today's section. Today, we are going to dive into programming. So congratulations to those who have been following us right from week 1 to this moment, and those who have been interacting, and those who have been, carrying out the various practical exercises. This in tech, every career path you're pursuing in tech, they are mostly practical. You don't learn tech by just reading alone. I mentioned this in the first class. You learn tech by doing. After the whole presentation and everything, it's up to you to like go deeper by actually practicing whatever has been taught. And that's why I intentionally designed this class this way. I designed it to be hands-on and not just talking, but as I talk, I show you what it feels like so that you also can go back and do. And then in the process of doing, you get to discover other stuff, and you get to learn better that way. So welcome, and today we are going to start programming. I'm going to introduce you guys to programming with JavaScript. So, but before we move on, does anyone have any questions from the previous classes from week 1 and week 2, or does anyone have any challenge or any concern so far? If you do, you can let me know, and the floor is all yours. If you've been having any challenge or concern or question so far, please feel free to indicate. Anyone? Okay, it means I don't know. Okay, who has been following? If you've been following from week 1, you can just give me a reaction. If you've never missed any session, just send a reaction. All right, Christabel, I can see you. Who has sent a reaction? I missed that. Okay, so if there are no questions or concerns, or unfortunately we couldn't record week 2. Christabel, were you raising your hands?
Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. The like recording for week 2.
Unfortunately, we could not record. I totally forgot to press the record button, but today I made sure I did. So I don't know how it's going to be like. Maybe I'm going to do a video. Yes, just going through the week 2, and I'll post it on YouTube like I did for week 1. But this particular class is being recorded now. So I'm sure those who could not attend this will be able to watch the recording. But for week 2, I shared learning resources. So I'm still going to do a video for week 2 just for the purpose of learning sake, and I will just upload it on YouTube so that those who will like to go back to it can go back to it. So sorry, like it was at the end of the meeting that I discovered that I did not press the record button. It was so painful, sure. But anyways, is there any other thing before we move ahead? All right, so it seems there's nothing else. So today, this is what we are going to be learning today. We are going to learn what programming is. We are going to understand JavaScript, the basics, variables, conditionals, loops, and functions. So we are going to build a very mini JavaScript app so we can understand how programming works. And we're going to, in the process, we are going to learn how to think like a developer. So is anybody excited to go this journey with me today? I mean, is anybody excited about what's about happening? For those who are, I've been hearing about programming and don't know what programming is or how it feels like to actually write codes or program. Today is a great opportunity for you to see programming in action. Yes, not just in talking. So, what is programming? Yeah, let me give an illustration. Or okay, let me put it this way. The computer, as you know it, most people they think the computer is so smart that computer is this, computer is that, In reality, a computer is a dumb machine. A computer is not smart at all. Everything that makes you feel that a computer is smart is because of the instructions that have been given to it. A computer only does as instructed. Yes, garbage in, garbage out. If you give a computer an instruction, the computer executes that instruction. Even if that instruction is wrong, it does that. So, and the quality or the, like I say, the ability of for a computer to um, perform very well or process a particular information at a very, very good quality depends on the quality of the instruction given to it. So um, those who like saying, computer is so smart, computer is this. No, actually, in reality, it's the programmer that is smart because it's the programmer that actually programmed those instructions that the computer executes. So programming is simply giving step-by-step instruction to a computer. That's what it is. Yeah, it's just like a recipe. If you want to cook, for instance, you have the cooking steps. And maybe you want to cook jollof rice. Maybe the first step is to like prepare um whatever you need to mix. Maybe yeah, it's called prep cooking. Yeah. So in most restaurants, there's a prep chef that does that. You prepare the tomato, you prepare the onion, you prepare this and that, and then you start mixing accordingly. You know, if you mix stuffs wrongly, you end up with a disaster at the end of the day. So so that is same thing for programming as well. Yeah, there are steps you have to follow to achieve a desired result. If you don't follow those steps, you can't achieve those results. So today we are going to be looking at JavaScript. JavaScript is usually referred to as the language of the web. That's the programming language that the web understands. JavaScript powers 95% of websites globally. Yes, JavaScript is the language the browser understands. So if you see, no matter how complex a particular web application looks like or feels like, even if it's written in a different programming language, like let's say C++, for instance, it's going to be interpreted or compiled down to JavaScript for the web browsers to understand. So that's how important JavaScript is. So before we move to having a taste of what it feels like to write JavaScript, I want to also mention that with JavaScript, you can do a lot of things, like a whole lot of things. You can build websites with JavaScript. You can build server applications with JavaScript. You can build desktop applications with JavaScript. A large part of Facebook is powered by JavaScript. Most of these social media apps you see, they run JavaScript. Most of the websites you visit, they run JavaScript. So JavaScript powers a lot of things. Yes. So we are going to just see what it feels like to. So we are going to write our very, very first line of code, and it's a code to print hello 0 to tech on our compiler. Sorry, on our console. If you feel like going along with me, feel free. Just visit onecompiler.com/javascript. You'll be able to write this code at the go as we are in the class demonstrating. You can actually practicalize alongside. You don't need to have a laptop. With your phone, you can learn JavaScript. You can write JavaScript codes. Yeah, so let's look at a live demonstration. So I'll stop sharing this screen and share my entire browser window so that we can see. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? All right, thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Zira. Yeah, so this is what we used in the last class for HTML. It's an online compiler. So we can use this to write different programming languages. If you have a laptop, you can use VS Code. VS Code is the popular choice. If you don't have a laptop, you can either use a web app like this one or a mobile app. I sent the links on the group already, so you can just um, follow along. So we want to write our very first JavaScript code. I will say console. Let me increase this. Yeah, I'll say console dot log in brackets hello 0 to tech. So I'm going to close this. So when I hit run, yeah, you can see the output here, 0 to tech. So normally this output is supposed to appear on my browser console, but we are using a code editor. So that's why we are having this output this way. If I'm to use something like, let's say, SCP K editor, it's going to take me to SPCK editor, and I do the same thing there. But these days it's quite interesting. It's quite easy to write codes. So let me just choose this one. Okay, so yeah, if I run the same code console and I click on run, it's going to open a different tab and it's going to run on my browser console. The program is currently running, but you won't see it. If I right click now, I click inspect and I click on console, you can see hello. This is what they call console. This is what they call console. You can see it there. So this is the console. So well, we're not dwelling on that. Let's go back to our program. So this is a very simple program just to print hello 0 to tech on the console. So yes, let's start talking about the fundamentals. So we'll be talking about variables. Variables in programming helps to store information. We're going to see how that works. For instance, if we say let name equals to Ada and let age equals 25, name here is a variable. Age here is a variable. So you can think of variables as boxes that store values. And then what kind of values can they store? A variable can store values with the data types of string, number, boolean, and array. Ada is a string. 25 is a number. We're going to see what boolean is and what an array is. So let's have a live demonstration of what this means. So let me come back to our code editor here, and then I will say let name equals, let's say, Christabel. So Christabel, yes, and then let's color. Christabel, what's your favorite color?
Yes, we right.
Red. All right. So, and then we can say let height equals to what's your height?
1.6.
Okay. Uh, let's say 2, for instance, and then we close this. So let's see how this works now. If I should run this, for instance, you can run. You see, program did not output anything. There's no output. So, like I said, the computer is so dumb. You have to tell the computer what to do before it does that. So I would say console. There are several ways to output a particular result. Yeah, this is just one of it. Yeah, and for the sake of introduction, we will just use this console as the only means of output. Console.log. We can say my name is, then I'm going to give a space here. I'm going to tell you what this plus sign does, or you're going to see it actually, not just tell you. My name is, then I'll put name here, and then I can say my favorite color is, and then I'm going to.
Your screen, I don't know if it's only me.
What's going on?
Your screen is not presenting. I'm not seeing anything.
You're not seeing anything? Who else can't see my screen?
We can see his screen. Probably maybe it's your network.
Oh, okay.
Or you can like swipe up to the very first, how do I put it? There's a way you can swipe up. Just try and find the way around it. Maybe you're not actually looking at the screen. So okay, so color, I can say color. Oh, I spelled color as color there. Okay, let's use what we spelled it as. Yeah. So, and then okay, let's leave it at this first. So we can see what this will give us. So I'm going to hit run. You can see the output here. It says my name is, I do not like Christabel here in this place. I only inputted name. And again, let's go ahead. My color, my favorite color is red. I did not write red here, and it brought out red. Are you guys following? If you're following, send a reaction. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier on, thank you. Name here, when I say let name, when equals Christabel, this name is now like a box that has stored Christabel. So that's why when I placed name here, Christabel showed up here. If I change the value of name here to, let's say, Emmanuel, and I run, see, my name is Emmanuel. Understand? Emmanuel changed without. Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sorry, the call came in. I had an interruption. Yeah, so this is a proof that name actually stored the value here, and color here, which is a variable, actually stored red. So if you observe from the output, there's no space between red and is. The reason is because I did not include space. So if I come here now, if I come here and I say plus, this plus is what they call, it's not the mathematical plus in this case. In this case, it's called a concatenation sign. It's used to join two things, not add. So I was able to use it to join. Okay, still running. Oh, don't know why it's taking time this time around. Okay, yeah, the space is there. So you can see I added space here. So I joined this space and the variable color. So it now reads, my name is Emmanuel, my favorite color is red. So that's how variable works. And then, like I said earlier on, a variable can store several values. This, if you observe, I placed these words in quotation marks, and I did not place this number in any quotation mark. So this is how to write a string. This is a string now. A string is placed into quotation mark in JavaScript. A number is not placed in any quotation mark. So are we following?
Yes,
Are we
we
following?
are.
All right. So this is, so if I want to add the height now, I can say I can say I can add the plus here, the concatenation. My height is then I can add the height here. I can add the height here. My height is, I can say height. Hey, what unit is this, Christabel? And is it 2
Yeah, meter.
2 meters? Okay.
Yeah.
2 meters. Right. So let me add space here as well. Okay. Space. And I say plus. So when I run this, my name is Emmanuel, my favorite color is red, my height is 2 meters. You can see. So anything I change here, let me add a space between my heights. Space. Okay, we are good. So anything I change here, if I change the value of name, it's going to change from my output. If I change the value of color, let's say I change this to, my favorite color is blue, and my height is 5, the tallest man in Abuja. So when I run this, you can see my name is Emmanuel. My favorite color is blue. My height is 5 meters. So I don't have to like come and change it here. I just need to change the values. So we are going to see how this makes sense in a short while. So that's how variables work. That's how variables work. Okay, let's look at conditionals in JavaScript. Conditionals has to do with making decision. For instance, I'm sure we've used some applications or some websites where they require us to maybe do a particular task, or let's say that they require you to sign up for maybe an application, and or let's say a game, for instance, where before you pass a level, you have to, let's say, finish the previous level. There's no way you can go to level 2 without finishing level 1. And there's a conditional statement that the programmer has written that enables that to happen. A conditional logic that makes that possible. That, okay, you can only go to level 2 after you finish level 1. So conditionals are very important in programming. They are one of the fundamentals of programming. So in this sample code here, where we have, so is this thing now making sense to you guys now? So you can see that let age equals to 17. Age now is a variable, and it's storing a value of 17, and 17 here is a number. And so if in bracket age is greater than or equals to 18, console.log you can vote. Else console.log sorry, not yet. So this is a simple conditional statement. The if else statement is a very popular conditional statement in programming. No matter what language you're using, no matter what programming language you're using, you will always come across the if else statement. So if the value of age is equals to 17, and then the condition here says that you can only vote when your age is greater than or equals to 18, it means the result is going to be sorry, not yet. I don't know if you are following. Are we following? Oh, Magdalene, you're here. Yeah, welcome. So I was saying earlier on that you're the only one who attempted the task. So, and I promised to reward the first 3 people. So reach out to me after this class for your reward. I'm going to give you data subscription. So this is conditional statement. So let us see how this works in real time. So we're going to go back to our code editor. So let's just wipe this one off. Yes. And then we can say, let age, let me increase this so that we can see it clearly. Let age equal to 17 if age is greater than or equal to 18, right? And we will say console.log you can vote. Else, we're going to say console.log sorry, you are not eligible to vote. Oh, we made an error here. We're supposed to, in JavaScript, you close a statement with semicolon. So let's, if all things being okay, if we hit, you can say, sorry, you are not eligible to vote. Because the reason why is because this variable age here now is equal to 17. And in the conditional statement here, the condition we set here is that only when age is, this sign here means greater than or equal to. I don't know if you are following. So this sign here means greater than or equal to. So it is only when age is greater than or equal to 18, that you can be eligible to vote. So, but unfortunately, our variable age here is 17. So let's set this to, let's say, 19, for instance. And let's click on run. Let's see the output. Oh, there's a syntax error. I made a mistake. You can see I didn't spell console well. So let me add the E there, console. And let's run again. You can vote. Right? The output has changed to you can vote, simply because age now is now set to 19. So if you're filling a form, for instance, and they say, okay, in that form, we want only people who are 18 and above to be able to fill this form. If they ask you your age and you say your age is 17, automatically, if there's a logic like this there, automatically that form will not be submitted. You will get a message that, sorry, you're not eligible. So that's a practical example of what this logic does. So at the background, you know, all of these logics are happening, but the user of that application does not see all of this logic. They only see a nice user interface, a nice form, a nice button to click, you know, all of that. But behind all of those things, these are the logics that are happening. So this is programming, right? So this is a simple application that checks if age is greater than or equal to 18. So if I put age here is, let's say 15, and I go back and run this program, you can see, sorry, you are not eligible to vote. Are you guys following? If you're following, send reaction. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Christabel. Thank you, Zira. Thank you, Magdalene. So in essence, if else helps computers to choose what to do. So with if else now, you can tell the computer what to do. So let's move ahead to loops. Yeah, a very important concept in programming. So I'm just giving you guys, all these concepts I'm giving you, they are common among every other programming language. So if you decide like, okay, I don't want to do JavaScript, I want to do Python instead, you are going to meet all of this. This is the act of programming. I'm teaching you the act of programming. Yeah, they are common concepts, even though the syntax in other programming language might be different, but the concept is the same. Yes, the act is the same. So what loop means in Python or C++ is the same thing as what loop means in JavaScript. Yeah, so same with every concept I've shown you so far. So loop helps to repeat a particular action by not, okay, I'm going to explain what that means. So like, for instance, you want to write, my name is Christabel, my name is Christabel, let's say 20 times without writing console.log, my name is Christabel, console.log, my name is Christabel, console.log, my name is Christabel 20 times. Maybe you want to perform a particular action repeatedly without having to repeat the lines of code. That's where loop comes in. So let me explain what this is doing. So the most common loop is the for loop. This is for. For is a function, and it's like an action word in programming. Yes, it's for loop. This is for loop, and then for loop is one of the most common loop. We have different kinds of loop. There's for loop, there's switch loop, but for the purpose of this course, we are just looking at for loop. So for in brackets, let I. Are you guys seeing something familiar here? The let I. When you see let I, what that simply means is that I here now is what? A variable. So it means I is like a container that stores a value. So in this case now, I is storing a value of number. So let I equals 1. It means I now, anytime you mention I, it's referring to 1. Right? So this one is being stored in I. So the statement closes here, and then that same I now that is equal to 1 is now less than or equal to 5. Right? Then I plus plus. So what this plus plus means is that this plus plus is an operator, an increment operator. It increments a particular action. Is it sequentially? Yeah, like you get to see how it works now. So console.log hello number plus I. So let's see how this works in real time. So let's erase this. So let's say 4 brackets. Let I equal to 1. Then I is less than or equal to 5. Then I increments. So let's say console.log. Instead of hello, let's say we want to, okay, let's just start with hello number, and we can, does anyone remember this plus here, this single plus here, plus? Does anyone remember the plus, what the plus is for? Concatenation. Yes, it's not the arithmetic plus. This one is for concatenation. So let's run this and see what happens. You can see it printed. See the output here. Hello number 1. There's a problem somewhere. Okay. Coming. Oh, okay. You can see. Who knows what the problem is? I wrote 1 here instead of I. Right. So it didn't. So like I said, the computer is dumb. It only garbages in and garbages out. So let's run now, and we'll see that the result has changed. You can see the result is now hello number 1, hello number 2, hello number 3, hello number 4, hello number 5. So I now has been incremented, right? And we're able to print hello number 5 times. If we change this, I is less than or equal to 10 here, and we run, we are going to have hello number 1 to 10. So if I say I want to print Christabel 10 times or 20 times, I can say Christabel. I can remove this here, and I say 20. If I run this now, see, Christabel has appeared 20 times. Yeah, we can count this and see. Let's count it automatically. Plus I. Let's run it and see. See, Christabel 1 to 20. It means, yeah, the instruction works. Are we following? Is anybody confused? Is anybody confused? If you are confused, raise your hand, please. If you are confused, raise your hand so that we can make you not to be confused. All right, so it means we are all following, right? So the next thing we are going to look at is functions. Functions and a variable greets task. It performs a specific task. So this is a very simple function. It's just like you can see function as a reusable recipe. Maybe how do I put it? Those who cook will understand this very well. I want to make a sandwich, right? There is a recipe for sandwich, and that recipe now, anytime you want to make sandwich, you can reuse that recipe all the time, and you're going to get that same result. If, for instance, in the sandwich, you're supposed to add a particular ingredient, let's say in a particular quantity. Let's say the amount of water you're supposed to add, maybe it's just like 2 milliliter, for instance. And then maybe the amount of salt you're supposed to add is just like a pinch. If you do something different, you're going to get a different result. So that's how a function is. But as long as you follow that same recipe, you're going to achieve the same results consistently. So let's see how this works in real time. So let's write a simple function. And what do we want our function to do? Our function the only thing our function will do is to greet greet people. Yes, we are writing a greeting function. So we can say console.log in brackets. Okay, let me increase the size so that you guys can see clearly. In brackets, hello, and then we write name here. So this is a function. This function now greets whatever name that is provided as an argument in it. So if I say, and this function can be called in any part of your program. If I say greet now, greet, and I say in brackets, Benedict, and I close this, guess what will happen when I run it? It's saying, hello, Benedict. Okay, let's add space somewhere. Okay, let's add a space around here. Plus. All right, so you can see, hello, Benedict. Let me show you guys why this is reusable, why it's called a function. It's called a function because it can be reused. I can still say greet, right? And I say Emmanuel, and I close this. If I go back and I run this, hello Benedict, hello Emmanuel. If I change the greeting now to good evening, and I run it, it's going to tell Benedict, good evening, Benedict, good evening, Emmanuel. Right, so this is how function works. A function can be anything. It can be anything. And then as long as it's been declared as a function, it can be reused in any part of your code. So I can decide to say, okay, I want to add one more greeting. Does anyone have a question? Or are we following? I can say greet. All right, thank you, Zira. I can say greet. Let's greet Zira this time around. Greet Zira. So, and then I run this. See, good evening, Zira. Who else have I not greeted? Please still with us. Let's see. Okay, we have Aisha, we have Gifts, and then Magdalene. Right. So let's greet everybody. You can see we are now repeating ourselves, right? And this is bad for programming. One rule in programming is that never you repeat yourself. Greet Aisha. Greet Magdalene. Did I spell it right? Magdalene, did I get the spelling of your name? Great. Who else is there? Gift. And then now I run the program. You can see. Good evening, Benedict. Good evening, Emmanuel. Good evening, Zira. Good evening, Aisha. Good evening, Magdalene. Good evening, Gift. Did I miss anybody? No, I don't think I missed anybody. So that's how function is in programming. Am I too fast or am I confusing you guys? If you need further explanation, please signify. Okay, I think we are all good, right? So if you are good, just react so I can move ahead. Okay, we are good. Thank you. So thank you for that. And so I want you guys to vote in the comment section. Which of these apps should we build right now? A quiz app or a calculator? Yes, in the comment section. Just if you want us to do a live demo of a quiz app, you can just enter it there, quiz app. If you want a calculator, enter calculator. We are only going to do one live demo, right? We're going to build a simple app. It's not going to take time, actually. So if you want me to build a quiz app, indicate. If you want a calculator, indicate. Oh, everybody wants a quiz app. Did you guys do meeting somewhere to because in Nigerian election at least there's opposition, but right now there's no opposition. So the election has been rigged. It seems somebody has rigged the election. So all right, so quiz app it is. So we are going to build a simple quiz app. It's going to be very simple. It's a console app, so don't expect user interface or anything. We are just experimenting how JavaScript works. So this quiz app now is going to help us to understand all the concepts we've been looking at since. So we're going to first of all say, let me increase the size of this. Let's score equals to 0. So we are starting out by setting our score. Normally in a quiz, there must be a score. Score equals to 0. We can say function ax. Yes, we have a function called ax that can be reused. So and then we'll pass an argument called question and answer. So we are trying to create a function called ax. And then we can say let response equal to yes. So we have a variable called response and it's equal to yes. I can say if response equals to answer. So I just introduced a new operator right now. And this equal to now. This first equal to here, it's an assignment operator. We are assigning yes to response. So we are putting yes into a container called response. Then, but this equal to, this triple equal to. Now, we are trying to check the value of, we are trying to say, okay, response now is equal to answer. How do I put it for you to understand? Like, it's just like saying 1 + 1 equals to 2 in this case. Yes, in this case where we have the triple equal to, it's like saying 1 + 1 equals to 2. But in this case, this equal to here, we are assigning yes to response. We are putting yes into a container called response. So now, but in this place now, we are saying response is equal to yes. Sorry, response is equal to answer. And we're going to see how it works. I'm sure most of us are confused. It's part of the learning process. In programming, you first of all be confused, but you're going to get it along the line. So I can say score increment here, and then now let's now use the functions we've created so far. The function ask. Let's ask. Oh, NEPA don't take light too. Sorry, give me a moment. Let me switch my power source to solar before. Something. Just give me a moment. Okay, we are back. NEPA interrupted the power supply, so I had to like switch to solar. All right, so ask. Okay, the ask now. The question now is JavaScript. That's one question now. Fun, and then the answer. Yes. Then we want to print the score. Console.log. I want to print the score in console.log. And say score is space, and then say score. So if you observe in this function now, we passed two arguments. You say the first argument here is question, the second argument here is answer. So in this function now, it means the function is going to have two parts passed in. So the question, this is the question, is JavaScript fun? This is the answer, yes. So our program now, this if now is going to check if the answer here supplied is equal to the response we are expecting. Our response here is yes. I don't know if it's making sense. Our response here is yes, right? And then this is our answer now. If the answer is equal to the response we are expecting, we are going to see our score right now. So our score is equal to 1, simply because our answer is equal to the response that was expected. So now this part of the program here, this is what the user is going to interact with. So for instance, if you have a graphic user interface, maybe a form, right, where the user can input an answer. We're just doing logic here. This is what happens at the background, right? So if we have a form, maybe an HTML form, we did HTML and CSS last week. Most of you guys missed that class. It's a very important class that you guys missed. So I sent the material on the group, so you guys can follow up. And hopefully I'm going to do, because I forgot to record the class, so hopefully I'm going to do a recording for the HTML and CSS maybe before our last class. So this part of the program is what the end user will interact with, maybe in a graphical user interface. So if the end user supplies yes as the answer, and they get a score of 1, which means the answer is correct. But if the answer is something else, let's say, is JavaScript fun? That's the program is asking, is JavaScript fun? And me as a user now, I say no, it's not fun. Let's also see the score. Score is 0. If let's change the question. Let's say is what question should we give? Is the sun black? And then the response we're expecting is no. And then if the person answering the question says yes, and we run, the score is 0 simply because the response we are expecting is no. So we'll enter the right response here, and then we run this. The score becomes 1 because that's the response we are expecting. Are we following? Is anybody confused? If you're confused, give me the thumbs down. If you're following, give me thumbs up. Oh, Zira is confused. Magdalene is following. Okay, Zira, where are you confused? Tell me.
Just re-explain what you just explained again, especially from this score.
From where? From the score. Okay.
Yes, from the
So
score where you to 1.
Okay. In this program, there are 2 basic parts. The first part is the logic, right? And the second part is where the user interacts with. If you observe in the beginning, we say let score equals to 0. So we set the container called score, which is the variable. That's what it's called. I'm just using the word container so you can understand. The variable here called score, we set it to 0. Like so, score is equal to 0. And in this our function here, we put an increment. So this is going to increment only if the response is equal to the answer. That's it's just like saying only if 1 plus 1 equals to 2. That's what it means. So only if the response, the person answering the question matches the expected response, right? So this score, this plus plus, I mentioned this plus plus is an incremental operator. So it's going to increment by 1, right? Or by whatever you want it to increment to, but in our case here, it's going to increment by 1. So the count starts from 0, right? So if I change this, or should I do? Okay, let me just, if I change this to 1, and I said it should increment, right, by 1 again, what will be the result? Let's run. 2. Understand? It's big. I don't know if anybody understands this. Yes. So, but if we bring this back to 0, so it starts counting at 0, right? So it means if the response is equal to the response we are expecting, this increment, which is inside an if statement, this is a condition now. This is the only condition we have in this program. If response equals to answer, right? And this is our answer here. This is the question. If response, this particular response equals to the answer, which is the answer here is the response we are expecting, then that's when score is going to increment by 1. So, and then our answer here is no, and it matches the answer that is in our database or in our array, response array. So it means score is going to increment by 1. That's why we have that's why I have 1 here as the score. I don't know if that answers your question. Hello, Zira. Have I been able to answer your question? All right, that's good. I'm glad I did. So this is just a feel of how it means to what it means to program, right? This is just a basic feel. So this is just like the very, very basics. So I'm going to share resources that will help you build your programming knowledge, and then so all the exercises we've done so far, you guys are going to like practice it. You're going to open your editor, and from the very first demo I did to the last, you guys will run it from your end so I can understand how this thing works. You guys can play around with stuff, and then once you're done, I'm going to send a self-assessment form. Then you can fill and share your experience there at the end of the day. So I'm going to send all the codes I used here to on the group so that you guys can visit your code editor. And then the code editor we used for this class is we used OneCompiler. So you guys will visit OneCompiler, and then from the very first program I wrote, which is a program to just print hello world, you guys are going to try it yourself, down to this quiz here. So should I attempt the calculator? Maybe it's going to help you guys understand more. If you want me to attempt the calculator, just send the reaction. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to attempt to build a simple calculator. Our calculator is just going to add 2 numbers. That's what it's going to do, right? So that we can wrap up on time. So I will say function. So I'm starting with the function called calculate, and then I want my function to get this argument A, argument A, B, and an operator. Our operator in this case is our arithmetic operator, which is either plus, minus, division, multiplication. So if operator equal to plus, right, and then you can say console.log in brackets A plus B. So we have a function that is going to add the value of A and B. And we've already, in this our function called calculate, we passed in 3 arguments here. It means this function can take in A, can take in B, and an operator. So we are going to say calculate 4, 2, and we're going to say the operator we want to use is plus. Close it. Let's run this and see. 4 plus 2 is what? 6. Right? So our calculator is working. We can change it to say 20 plus 30. So any value we enter here now in this function, we've indicated that this function can only receive 2 value and an operator, and we have 2 values here and an operator, right? So let's run it again. You see, 20 plus 30 is equal to 50. So if we decide to like, okay, we want our operator to be multiplication. Oh shit. Okay. We want our operator to be multiplication, and so we say 2 and 2. Let's run. You can see it is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So let's change the value. Let's say 10 and 5. Let me run here. 10 times 5 is 50. So we have a simple calculator. So if we change the operator here, it performs a different arithmetic operation. So let me still explain what this does again. Let me explain the function. Like I said, function is what? It's just like a recipe, like an instruction, a reusable instruction. So in this function, the name of the function is calculate, and this function carries an argument called a, b, and operator. Argument is a value that is passed into a function. It's like a container we are passing inside the function. So these arguments, in the future, anywhere we are using the function, it means we are going to use arguments that correlate with what the function can handle. So we have an argument of a, b, and an operator. So this is the condition here that does the magic. We use the if statement. If operator equal to asterisk computer, if you put this, the computer does not know what this is, right? You know, if we are writing our notebook, if we use this, it means multiplication. But this is what the computer sees as multiplication, the asterisk sign. So you can now say console.log a asterisk b. So any value we place in the position of a will multiply by any value we place in the position of b. So if we now use the function here now and say, okay, we want our a to be 20, and I want our b to be 100, and then if we change this sign here to plus and to plus, let's see what is going to happen. Program did not output anything. Why? Why are we getting this? Who can tell me why we are getting this? Somebody should let me know why we are getting this output. Who can make attempts? Just speak if you know why. Anybody who understands why we are getting this output? This is what happened here. Okay, go ahead.
Because our if operator is still on multiplication.
I thought somebody wanted to.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Zira, go ahead.
Okay, I said it didn't run because our if operator is still on multiplication.
Okay, yes, that's it. Because, you know, like I said earlier, the computer is very dumb. A computer is very dumb. It's only what you tell the computer to do that it's going to do. In this case now, our program is telling the computer that it should perform this operation, that it should multiply the value of a by b only if this means if and only if. That's what this means in programming. If and only if you see 3 equals 2. So console.log should multiply a by the value of b if and only if the operator we are using is multiplication. So here now we now supply the different operator called addition. That's why it's telling us program did not output anything. So if we change this back to the operator that we've programmed our application to accept, it's going to do the computation. You can see we have 2000 here. 20 multiplied by 100 is going to give us 2000. Is this wrong or is this correct? Can somebody use their own calculator and calculate this to see if our calculator is working well? The calculator we just created, if it's working well. You can confirm that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Zira. Thank you. So, thank you, Aisha. So this is how programming is actually. Programming is just logic. Just logic. The logic you input determines the result you get. So if we change this to division, for instance, this is division in programming. This is the division operator. /. So this is division in programming. /. So let's see what happens when we run this. We get 0.2 because this value here, a mass here is called the denominator is smaller than the numerator, so it's giving us the result in. So let's say 100 divided by 2. Let's run this. 50. You can see it works. So that's it basically. So we have a very simple calculator. So in the real sense, some of the calculators we use, you can find some similar logic there, even though the logics are more complex than this. This is just a simple logic. All the calculators we buy in the market have some of this logic in them that makes them work, even though they are more explicitly declared or defined and more complex. Yeah, but this is the very fundamental. So we've been able to see what programming is, and we've been able to go through the JavaScript basics from variables to conditional loops and functions, and we've been able to build a simple mini app. And then during this process, we are now thinking like developers. Yeah, so all of this process now, this is how developers think. This is how developers actually think. So that's what we've done this week. Next week is going to be so exciting. I'm going to show you guys how to create a portfolio. Yeah, your own portfolio. You might be wondering that why do I need a portfolio at this moment? Yeah, it's very important. As you learn, right, you document your learning process. It's very important. For instance, you are interested in graphics design. You do a design, right? Like the task I gave you guys. If you have a portfolio now, you can put it there. You know, as you keep improving your skills, you keep updating your portfolio, you keep adding the new designs you've done. And so when you get to a point where you are confident that, okay, I can now offer my design skill as a service to somebody else, and the person requests for your work, you simply send the person a link to your portfolio, right? So the person can see how you've been progressing. So I'm going to show you guys next week how to create a portfolio and how to start freelancing. Yes, by next week, I'm going to introduce you guys to freelancing. And again, I'm going to introduce you guys to cybersecurity as a bonus tips, right? I started learning programming, I think a decade ago, around 2015. This year makes it my 10th year. So I've navigated several career paths in the course of my journey. Like I've worn several hats. Yes, from being I think I started as a graphic designer. Yes, that's I started my tech career as a graphic designer. Then I quickly switched to a web designer. I started designing websites, and then all these tools we have today were not available then. Then we write pure HTML and CSS from scratch. So I was doing pure HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Then I graduated to becoming a freelancer. I started offering my service, my web development services to companies, and then I started getting job. Even as a student, then and then when other students were complaining about being broke, I never knew what they call broke, being broke. I never knew what being broke looks like. So because I had a lot of clients that usually call me from time to time, maybe to manage their website or to do a particular job for them. Yeah, so I was freelancing while studying. So I was earning while studying at the university. So after that, I decided to like, okay, let me move into instead of freelancing now, let me move into entrepreneurship. So I building my own softwares and offering my softwares to people, and to businesses. So currently now, I'm a founder of a fintech company, and we are doing amazing things from my end. So it's been a journey for me, and a very exciting and adventurous journey for me. And then I've been reaping the fruits of my labor so far, So I just want to, the reason, yeah, it's never too late to start a tech career path. Yeah, you can start a tech career path at any given stage, and it's never too late because there's tech in everything. Like even if you're a farmer, you need tech to excel in farming, right? If you're a market woman, you need tech. A time is coming when everything will have tech embedded, like every single thing, right? Will have tech embedded. AI is coming up and AI is taking over everything. So most people are scared that AI is going to replace them. No, I don't think AI is going to replace us. It's just the same way people felt when they invented calculator and people started using calculator in school. Some mathematicians protested. It was like something very evil, that why would they create something that will make people lazy? Why would they create something that is going to make students not to solve and break down numbers with their hands? It was like a controversy then. But today, calculator came out, but calculator did not replace mathematicians, right? Rather, mathematicians are using calculator to enhance their skill set, So calculator is still with us, but we still need mathematicians, we still need accountants, we still need people to do the numbers, right? It did not it did not take away that guy. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So same thing with AI. AI is going to only enhance whatever we are doing. It's going to help us to do well. Like for instance, then if you give me a contract to build a website, it's going to take me like 3 months, depending on maybe how complex the website is. Maybe if it's an e-commerce website, for instance, it's going to take me at least 3 months to build an e-commerce website, integrate payments, and just like Jumia, then it's going to take me at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months, actually, depending on the features you want me to include. So, but these days, I can build an e-commerce site, a full-blown e-commerce site with payments integrated. People will make payments to their card online or by USSD or bank transfer. I can do that if I have time in my hands. I can do that within 24 hours using AI. That's how powerful it is. As long as I can sit down, right, I can do all of those things. Something that takes me 3 to 6 months, then I can do that within 24 hours. And then it's even going to give me a better result. That's the most surprising thing. It's going to give me better results compared to when I do stuff the old way. Yeah, so I want to encourage everybody to find time to explore AI. Use AI to enhance whatever thing you want to do. Yeah, if you want to venture into designs, yes, while learning designs, after you learn the fundamentals, explore AI tools that does design. If you want to do programming, after learning the fundamentals, explore AI tools that help to enhance your programming. The only problem is when you don't know the fundamentals. Fundamentals are very, very important. Most people, they usually neglect fundamentals, but that's the most important thing in anything you want to do. That's the same principle Elon Musk uses. Elon Musk, I've listened to a lot of his interviews. He goes for the fundamentals first. He makes sure he understands the fundamentals very, very well before he proceeds into anything he's venturing into. So same thing with programming or any tech career path. The fundamentals are the most important part. Yeah, once you learn the fundamentals, AI can help you with everything. So because AI, you cannot use AI efficiently when you don't understand how the environment you're operating works. Right? How can you build a website when you don't understand the fundamentals of building a website? It's time for questions and answers. So the floor is open. If you have any question in your mind, if you have any concern or anything bothering you so far, if you need clarity, need direction in your tech journey, now is the time to ask. Or based on what we've learned so far, yeah, you can ask. Any questions? Aisha, do you have any question? Benedict, do you have questions? Christabel, Annie, Emmanuel, Gabby. Gabby joined us during the because of the meeting and gift. Okay. And then okay, Zira, go ahead.
Okay, my question is, after developing an app like this, so how do you launch it? Like, be an app for a mobile phone or a software, like, what do you use in launching it for people to see?
Okay, you mean deployment, right?
Yes, deployment.
Okay, if you observe last week, for instance, we did HTML and CSS, right? And then, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
All right, so last week we did HTML and CSS, and I showed you guys deployment. And there are several ways to deploy whatever you've developed, several ways. I think one of the easiest ways I showed you guys last week was using Netlify. After writing your codes, right, and then you save your code as a file, you can simply upload on Netlify. That's one of the ways to do that. Especially if you are working with JavaScript, Netlify is built for JavaScript. Let me show you what Netlify looks like. So this is just one of the tools. We have Vercel. There are several ways of putting your app online. If it's a website you're building, right, you can use Netlify. Really, if the website is a JavaScript, use Vercel, or you can use a hosting service like Namecheap, cPanel. But if it's a mobile app you're building, every kind of software has a method of building it. If you're building a mobile app and it's a different process, you need what they call an IDE, right? And an emulator. You test it on an emulator, and then once you're done building it, you can now upload to either Play Store or this is Netlify. It's either you upload to Play Store or Apple Store, right, for mobile apps. So it depends on what you're building actually. So like this stuff we just did now, I can just decide to save this code and then drag and drop. Or for instance, maybe I have, okay, let me just upload a particular template I have on my laptop. I'm trying to upload something. Let me just drag and drop the templates. I did this the last class. Yes, I did it in our last class. Well, let me just quickly do that since it's a very easy thing to do. I'm looking for the templates. Okay, I've seen the templates. 0 to tech folder. Okay. So I just dragged and dropped, and it's loading. You can see that it's loading. Open production deployments, blah blah blah. Review. So you can see the files. We have index.html, we have contact.html. These are HTML projects. So I'm simply going to open production deployment. You can see, just like that. Just like that, my template is up. If I send you this link now, you'll be able to visit this website. You can see this is an e-commerce. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, this is an e-commerce. That's how easy it is. You just drag and drop on Netlify. Yes, so, and if I send this link to anybody, person can visit this link. If I want my own custom domain, yes, I register the domain and I use it. You know, so that's it. Any other question? Sarah, do you have questions? Gift, do you have questions? Gabi. Okay, it seems that's the only question, right? So you guys should feel free to follow Kellic Education Foundation on social media, all across social media platforms. Kellic is the institution that is making this happen, for free. And then you guys can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I'm mostly available on Twitter. So if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Twitter. Or if you want to see what I'm up to, what I'm building, or what I'm posting, I usually tweet once in a while. Yes. And then if you want to learn from my tweets, you can follow me on Twitter. And then I'm also available during the course of this program from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. just in case you need any mentorship support. I'll be there for you. So in conclusion, so just keep exploring and then feel free to share your progress online. It's very important. Don't learn in isolation. It's very important for you to share your progress. Yes, for people to see. Yes, it's going to help to build your digital footprint, which will be very useful in the future. So, and if you're sharing in your progress for the purpose of this class, you can use this hashtag 0to-tech. So see you next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. So I'm going to drop the resources as mentioned, as I mentioned. Yeah, so you guys can practice. All the codes will be dropped. Yes, I'm going to send this slide so that you guys can practice all the codes. So have a lovely evening, everybody.